Let's go to Danny, he's a Villa fan. All right, Dan?
Danny boy.
Hello, you're right.
How are you, Danny?
boy.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great. Actually, my brother Chris is here with me. He's the one who wants to talk. I'm gate crashing his phone call, sorry.
All right. Well, Chris, go on then. Who's talking here? Go on, Chris.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're having a bit of a brotherly squabble here, a little bit of a Oasis preview. But I'll tell you something, right? We're both down here today. I was talking to the lad who sat next to us on the season tickets, and we were both at that Atletico Madrid UEFA Cup quarter-final in 1998, and it was just like, here we go, 3/4 of the tie gone, and we haven't even had a kick. It was just like, we need to score 3 goals. I'm telling you now, right? We could have easily had it gone, do you know what? Well done, Villa. You're in the Champions League. You scrape past Celtic. You beat Club Brugge. What-do-you-do? You beat your first good team that you met, and you win 8. And I tell you, at 2-0, I'm feeling that it was just going to be a bloody long night. We were going to get smashed. But this is the best team in the world we've just played, right? You get that better stars in other teams, but PSG are the best team in the world. And Villa fans, stick your palm out. We had them right there. It's maybe glorious failure, but this is not the last time that Villa's going to be in the Champions League. I can tell you now. We're going to be back. We've got a great setup. But I'll tell you something else. This is not our only turn here. We had them right there, and they may go on and win this tournament now, but they'll look back at this moment was the moment that they almost got turned over, and I'm just can't say how much we're so proud of them. But this is not the end for us. This is a taste of what we could have in the future. You know.
No, agree with all of that. There's about, and I'll tell you why, because these quarterfinals like this, you know, they don't come around that often, as you well know.
They don't.
And there was a moment in that second half, I'm telling you now, you would have felt it. So would the PSG fans, so would the players. Everyone in that stadium felt that the next goal, it looked more like the Villa. And the chances you had,
my God.
There will be a moment of regret, not quite, but just what could have been.
If I may say, if that's all right, there is going to be an element of we bought Marco Asensio for that moment.
Yeah.
We bought him for that moment.
Yeah.
And it's just like the composure. You paid the big money for the composure and for the moment in front of the PSG fans. Bloody hell! Oh my God!
I know, but
shame.
Listen, he's done well for you since he's come in. Essentially, I get that. Like the one chance he gets, and he tries to roll it through his legs. He's inches away from him rolling it past him. He probably should score, but. You know, come on, Conser had a massive chance.
Conser should do the same. He should score.
Conser should probably get his head on it at least, minimum. You had chances, but so did PSG. It was a great game of football.
It was brilliant.
Just come up short.
Wonderful night. The applause that the Villa fans gave at the very end when we knew that was it.
Yeah.
That was just unbelievable appreciation. I've never been so proud of our fan base, the team, the whole club. That was just an incredible little moment that we had there. So
I didn't want that.
Everybody at the ground.
Do you know what, right, Dan? I watched a lot of football this season. Every night, me and Jason have been in there watching football. Premier League games. Been a bit meh. Been a bit boring this season. Some of the games we've watched, it's all the same. Everyone plays. Tonight, I didn't want the game to end.
No,
it was the first night I've sat down and I've watched the game and I'm like, I don't want this one to end. I want it to be extra time because it was just a great game of football to sit and watch. Yeah. We ain't seen many of them this season, I don't think.
No, the Champions League is where it's at. It's a special competition, and you know nothing feels like it. You know that night tonight. You know, you said you want to get back there. There's, obviously there's a chance that Aston Villa will continue to rise and do very well under Unai. But those nights under the light, especially knockout, there's something special about those nights.
Dan, thanks for your call, matey. I appreciate it. Up the Villa. Up the Villa. See you later. Jez, who's a Villa fan. Jez.
All right, Jez.
Hi, lads. Great to speak to you again. Great show. Love listening to it. I mean, look, I go back to, caller said he was back to 1988. I go back to 1983 when we played Juve in the previous final of the old European Cup.
Yep.
And in that day, Juve had 7 Italian World Cup winners, from Dino Zoff in goal to Roberto Bettiger up front. Alongside, you remember Bonnier, Polish international,
Bonnier,
and Platini playing as well. I mean, 48,000 in there in those days. It was rocking. We got to where we were 4 seasons ago to where we are now. Look, we've got the manager, we got the stadium, we've got the support. And I think any neutral, as you were saying a minute ago, any neutral who loves his football or her football watching would have been enthralled by that game. You know, it's grit, determination. It's relentless. It's not giving up, isn't it? And I think we showed tremendous qualities. It was so easy to capitulate at 2-0 down. You know, it would have been so easy to capitulate, and we didn't.
No, you didn't. To be fair, you showed great character.
Fair play to the boys, and you know that. You played at such a high level, both of you. And when you've got that I guess that spirit and that, you know, just that desire to. You might not be the best, and look how fluid they were. Look how they broke.
Yeah,
look how they transitioned. Look how they transitioned. The speed, the skill. But I tell you what, you know, when you look at standout players and you look at Pau Torres, second half, you know, everybody's talked about the chances we had. We did have chances. We could have and should have won that game second half. But people like Torres, it reminds me of Alan Hansen. I'm sorry, but he does actually. I mean, my second team has always been Liverpool. Well, no, I know, but my second team has always been Liverpool. You know, growing up watching them in the 80s, I mean, it was phenomenal. The Keegans, the Toshaks, the Faircloughs, the Jimmy Cases, the Stevie Highways. It was phenomenal. But, you know, I thought Torres, the way that he scrapped, that he just works so hard, and his distribution as well. Anyway, but he's only one amongst many. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are again.
I think you just come up against a better team. Yeah. I think you have to just accept that PSG this season have been a fantastic side. They've been brilliant. You know, they're a bit of a throwback team. You know, I know Enrique's the manager, but I felt like I was watching a bit of Barcelona. You know, like with the way they move the ball quickly, they play short, intricate passes in midfield. But then they'll get it out wide and they'll break on you quick. They'll get at you direct. You know, on the break, it's you know, third man runs. They'll try and get in behind you. You know, I just think you've come up. And Aston Villa, as much as we're going to sit here and we have a laugh and we dig them out and, you know, we have a bit of banter, can't get away from the fact they've had a good go. You're playing against probably, in my opinion, them and Barcelona, the two best teams in the world right now.
Listen, we've had a great go. We got a big game on Saturday against Newcastle. For us, that's a 6-pointer. I mean, you know, if
we are in the league, by the way,
top 5.
Yeah, you need top 5, don't you?
7th. We're at 7th. Well, I think we're 7th.
Yeah, but it's all to play for, yeah.
It's all to play for. You know, if you look at a Europa spot or Champions League again, we've got to win again on Saturday. But listen, 18 games unbeaten, and we should never have lost against Arsenal in October. Ollie Watkins missed 2 sitters.
Yes, he did.
Anybody's those highlights. Yeah. We shouldn't. We had that game. We won that game. But it is what it is. You know. Listen, thanks for having me on.
No, pleasure.
I mean, I look at your numbers, talkSPORT, and you know your list of numbers and how it's doing as an organisation. It's incredible. You know, it's down to people like you.
Not Cundy. No, definitely not Cundy. No. I weren't here last week. I looked at the numbers come through on my phone. I had an emergency alert come up saying it's all gone wrong. Best get back.
I know you would.
Let's get a flight home.
I know you would. I actually called in on Rory's show. He's tremendous too. Unbelievable. His knowledge is phenomenal. Sorry. Yeah, I'll leave it on.
Jez, tell them, mate. Appreciate your call.
I mean, you're right. They are the best side I've seen in this competition, right?
Yeah.
Them and Barca. I have to say Barca a bit off colour, but they had a 4-goal lead. But you know what? They had them rattled. They were on the ropes.
Yeah, they were.
This PSG side, Aston Villa had them where they wanted them.
Yeah.
They had lost the plot. They were all over the place.
They were gone.
And it looked, Villa, you could feel that you said it. They're going to score the next goal. They're going to get the equaliser. How they didn't. I mean, that's football, mate. Don't take your chances.
You don't take your chances. Them players will sit in that dressing room, you know, with some of them and they'll go, oh, it's so close. Yeah. They'll be gutted.
Yeah.
I know
the PSG players know the game.
Yeah, the PSG will go, we've got, you know, we've managed to get through a slugfest there.
Yeah.
But then Villa players will be sat in there. Unai Emery was obviously gutted after the game. They'll sit there and go, we had them there. Yeah. We had them on the ropes and we didn't finish them off. Because I think if they get that goal there, I think they'll probably go through.
I think they do,
Martinez,
mate.
You go to penalties with Martinez. You know it's.
Yeah,
I know Donnarumma's good as well, but something about Martinez with penalties.
Yeah, I do think it is one of those. Yeah, proud. But I think there'll be a quiet moment of reflection and they'll feel, the Villa fans and the players, that's one that got away. That's a big, big, big chance there.
Keep your calls coming in. Aston Villa fans want to hear from you. You're coming out the grounds. You've been watching the game 03 717 22 3344. You're listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. With talkSPORT Bet. Download the app today for the latest odds and offers. 18 plus. Download.org.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.